Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Love Spell, and we're continuing Jamie's route in episode 5, Dreaming of Fireworks. Right, we're going to the fireworks thing. Yay! I glance around at crowded streets of townspeople lined up and down. Whoa, look at all these stands! I've never seen so many. Small vendor stalls have opened around the harbor, and people frolic to buy snacks and other goodies before the show starts. As I follow Jamie, a large man shoves into me, and I almost lose my balance. Is it Marcelo? Yeah. Okay. My bad. Sorry about that. Wow, that dude's huge. Why do I feel like I've seen him somewhere before, though? Suddenly, I feel someone grab my hand, and I look up to see Jamie. Hey, it's getting pretty packed here. I want to go over to that hill. It's kind of funny that he's still wearing the apron. In all the other ones where we get all the outfit changes and Jamie's still wearing his outfit outside of work. He's still wearing the apron. Okay, come on. It's really funny because in every other game you don't get nearly as many outfit changes on the sprites or the characters, and yet I've gotten so used to them in this that when you have ones like this, I'm like, well, why is he still wearing his apron? I'm spoiled. This game has spoiled me. Oh. I watch as Jamie points to a nearby hill with a few people already settled down on it, and I nod. Oh, right. As we climb the slope path alongside a large hill, we can see families laying out picnic blankets and other people putting out lawn chairs on the beach. Kids run about excitedly as parents yell after them. I look down to see Jamie and I are still holding hands, and I immediately let go. I can wear it. This one. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Let's keep climbing. I'm actually pretty excited about this. The cloud. Spacey, is that you? I remember this scene, so. My heart stops as I slowly turn around to see Enix and Isla walking towards us. I just got a flashback to his bad ending, and I was like, ugh! Oh, that hurts! It hits you right in the smart. Ugh! Shit! It was like, oh, it just made me feel sad. Even though we're not in his route, and we're in Jamie's route, and I like Jamie, but yet, damn. Man. Isla eyes me, and I can feel myself inadvertently gulp as I plaster on a fake smile. Hi, you two! Here for the fireworks? Sure are. And this brings back old memories, huh? We used to watch them all the time together when we were kids. Look at the way he's looking at us. He's pining for us secretly.
But it's so hot!
Okay, I hate her, but I'm kind of with her. Hot and sweat, gross. It's sticky gross. I don't care how, it's nice firework. It's sweltering. It's July. I'm just thinking of, the 4th of July. Fuck that shit. I don't want to be outside. It's ew, and then the mosquito. Look, I'm with her, okay? I don't like her, but I'm with her.
And humid and gross. I'm all sweaty, and there's too many people here. Not to mention frickin' mosquitoes everywhere.
I feel her 100%.
Enix, darling, why don't we watch the show from the cruise ship docked over there? Pretty please, Pumpkin.
I'm not getting her voice right, but that's okay.
Spacey, would you like to come along? Oh, wait, that's right. You probably can't afford a ticket. Poor thing.
Okay, she doesn't need to be such a twat. Isla, you... Moments later, my eyes widen as I feel an arm snake around my shoulder. This is why you gotta love Jamie. First of all, he's in love with us because of the book. Second of all, even if he wasn't, he was just being a friend, and he's being a bro, it's okay, baby, we're fine here. Yes, thank you. Good boy. I look up to see Jamie staring back at Isla with a smirk. I mean, he's in love with us, so he's staking his claim. He's like, she's mine. Back off. But also, he's being a friend, and this bitch is making you uncomfortable. Yeah. Good for you, sweetie. Good for you.
That's fine. We had plans to watch it from up here anyways. Isn't that right, Spacey?
Jamie, I forgot you were here. I was too busy oogling Enix. Girl, put it back in your pants. We're going after Jamie. Enix narrows his eyes as he takes a step forward, and you have no right to judge Jamie when you're dating that bitch. Because Jamie's precious. And you are... look, he's all I kind of like the jealous fighting, but at the same time, it's like, I'm gonna need you to step off, because Jamie's sweet. Okay? My heart beats faster as Jamie tightens his hold on me.
A friend of hers. What's it to you, buddy? Got a problem with that?
Excuse me? Just who do you think you are? I know who we think he is. They stare down at each other, neither willing to back down first, before Isla grabs Enix and tugs him away. But this is almost sad. Like, I want to feel bad for Isla, because it's like your boyfriend is just way more upset at a dude being around me. He could give a shit less what happens to you. That's pretty funny, though. But, like, Enix, fucking man up. If you're not in love with her, just go be single. Jesus, don't drag this poor... Like, she's a bitch and we don't like her, but at the same time, there is some asshole out there who's going to be perfect for her, and you're going to be like, they're the perfect jackass couple, and they're perfect for each other. Don't, like... I mean, Enix staying with her just because he can't be bothered to be alone? Like, that's pathetic. You're pathetic, Enix. But also, she's pathetic for sticking with you just because she was jealous that you loved me. So, you're both pathetic. Me and Jamie are going to go have some fun. Don't get me wrong, I still love Enix. But he's acting a little pathetic right now. We all have pathetic moments, but we grow out of them. He needs to grow out of his, and so does she. So.
Come on, darling. Leave them, or we'll miss getting good seats.
Enix stares at me with unreadable eyes for a few seconds as he begins to turn away. See you around, Spacey. No, you won't. Peace out. As they walk away, I let out a breath of relief. I turn back to Jamie and smile. Thank you.
Don't mention it. I can't stand bullies. Was that guy an old flame of yours or something?
Unfortunately not. Well, not exactly.
Good. He looks like a total nerd anyways.
Hey, I'm a total nerd!
Besides, I'm way better company.
Jamie winks, and I can't help but laugh along. He grabs my hand again, and I can feel my cheeks heat up at the sudden contact.
Oh, I see a good spot over there. Oh, let's nab it. Come on.
I can't help but smile at his back as we run over to the hill together. I gaze up at the starry sky that expands over the moonlit ocean before us. No, this one. There we go. I can't help but eye the giant cruise ships filled with people and lights from a distance in the other direction. You know, she was probably right. They probably have a way better view over there.
No, they don't. We do.
I turn to look at Jamie, and I notice he's looking out at something warmly. I follow his gaze and break out into my own soft smile. In front of us, we're surrounded by the silhouettes of families, couples, and people laughing together from a distance. We can make out parents playing with their kids, people taking photos together, and everyone enjoying themselves to their heart's content. And there's probably, you're not as crowded as on a cruise ship. Because you can space out. You can't stop someone from sitting on top of you, but you could, like, sit somewhere where there's a little more room.
Yep, this is the life.
I look back at Jamie as he throws himself on the grass and makes himself comfortable with both hands cushioning his head from behind. After a few moments of comfortable silence, I slowly lower myself beside him. I feel Jamie turn his head and look at me.
Hey, Spacey, and this might be a weird question, but do you have a dream?
A dream?
You do, don't you? Is it related to singing?
I can feel my heart skip a beat at his words. I sadly close my eyes and shake my head in a silent reply.
I see.
What about you, Jamie? Do you have a dream? Jamie turns to look back at the sky as he stretches.
Yep, to live a quiet, peaceful life.
What? Really? That's it? Don't underestimate being, like, life just leaving you alone and letting you be boring. Because sometimes excitement is never good. Because life is an asshole, and you want excitement? Here's all the bad shit I can throw at you. Stop! Just leave me alone! If you're not gonna give me good shit, just leave me alone and just let me just coast through boring, okay?
What? Not ambitious enough for you?
No, that's not what I meant. Jamie lets out a laugh as he stares back out into the expanse of the night sky. A few moments of silence pass before he opens his mouth again. You'd be surprised how many people take this for granted. Simple moments like these. Watching fireworks, being together with the people you love. Sometimes people are so caught up in chasing after these lofty goals and these so-called ambitions that they forget what really matters. I can only stare at him as an unreadable expression takes over his face. The wind begins to pick up slightly as moonlight shines in his eyes. In the end, no amount of money, fame, or fortune in the world can truly make you feel complete. A rich, lavish life in a bustling city can't ever beat out these small moments. Not to me, anyways. And that's why my dream is to live a normal, quiet life. I'd call it boring if you want, but saving up to buy a small house, getting married, coming home to smiling kids one day. You just threw me out! I was with you until you said the kids part. Keep that shit out of my Otome games. I know. It's because most women, want kids and shit, but, I don't. So I'm just gonna pretend you didn't say the kids part. By kids, you mean pets. Okay, cool. Fine. Fur kids. Or feather kids, if you're me. So, fine. Alright, okay. Just say that. I'm spending my whole life with my family in a small town like this, and there's nothing more precious than that to me right now. I know why. I look out at the horizon as I take in the faces of the families that surround us again. No, it's not boring at all. I think it's a wonderful dream. Thanks. What about you, huh? You sure you don't have one? I look up at the stars as I watch them twinkle brilliantly in the night sky. She's like, I just want Enix to love me. Look, I know he's like the childhood crush, but it is kind of weird if you think about it. Because when we run into him, it's like, oh my god, he's my childhood crush that she still has feelings for. And then he kind of shows up in this route, and there's an odd moment. It's not because, Isla's being a bitch. It's an odd moment because you're still kind of like, Isla's being a bitch and she's with the man that I love. But you're falling in love. So it's like, in the other routes where he doesn't ever show up, you can kind of just he's out of sight, out of ma, and forget about it. But when he shows up here, you're like, but you're kind of attracted, Jamie, and you're going to fall in love with him, but you've had these feelings, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's weird to me because it's kind of like, if you're pining over someone, how can you truly love the next person that comes into your life? You know what I mean? And it's not even well, I love this person who died. It's different if they passed away. You know what I mean? But it's I don't know. I'm absolutely in love with Enix, and I'm just a little sad he's with her, and I'm not over it, really. And then you're moving on to Jamie. It's just a thing. It's just a thing that it doesn't mean anything, and yet it bothers me a little bit. I don't know. And it's not like the childhood friend route where you're like, yeah, I always had a crush on him. He was my best friend, and I thought about what if. But then in his route, you fall in love with him. It's the setup from the very beginning that she's kind of always been in love with him. My longtime crush, I pine for him now, and they're dating, and because that sets up the drama in their route. But it's almost like I wish they hadn't set up that until his route. Because when you set it up in the prologue, it makes you think that in this, and it's but Jamie's great. Why are you, I don't know. It's weird. It's just a personal that makes me feel weird. Because I personally can't imagine being oh, I've always been in love with this person. They're my best friend. I'm totally in love with them. But I'm going to date and marry and be happy with this person. But that just feels like cheating. And I don't mean oh, you're cheating on the person you love. I just mean it's it's just cheating your emotions. You're just pretending. I don't know. And yet, meanwhile, I'm the one. I want the man harem because I can love all of you. That's different. I didn't say my logic makes sense ever, but anyway. I look up at the stars as I watch them twinkle brilliantly in the night sky. And I know, the point is supposed to be she forgets about, my feelings for Enix weren't real in this route. You know what I mean? But it's still weird. I still feel, because we only have a month. It just hurts me a little on Jamie's behalf, is all I feel. And I shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's totally me. It's just me, but I don't know. I'm not honestly sure if I can call my musical ambitions a dream, but it was definitely gifted to me by someone special. Are you talking about that Lumios guy? Yeah. Okay, he's like, ugh. Anyways, let's change the topic. I know you don't like him too much. No, continue. I'm curious. What type of a dream was a guy like that able to give you? Jamie looks at me and I can feel earnestness from his gaze. I smile slowly as I look back up to the sky. He gave me everything. Everything I thought I had lost, that is. What? Sorry, I'm not really following here. When I first started listening to Lumios, it was right after I had my heart broken for the first time in high school. So, like Enix. I guess you could say I was in a really dark place, and I just couldn't seem to find a way out. But when I heard him sing for the first time, it was incredible. It was as if I could feel him through the music. His songs, his lyrics, they saved me in more ways than one. Memories and emotions tug at my heart as I open my eyes again. I can feel Jamie's gaze on me as I continue. His music, well, I suppose it's the truth to say it healed me. It healed a broken, shattered heart that, at the time, I didn't think could take anymore. So in a way, okay, it's actually interesting playing Jamie's route after Enix's, because the first time I did it, I played this first. So, okay, she had her heart broken. I wasn't really making the connection that it was Enix until you play Enix's route and you see that, like, you know, she was always in love with him, and then he ends up with Isla because Isla tricked him, right? So that's what she's talking about. I have to make that assumption. I feel like it's a logical assumption. And then it's like, you know, he broke my heart. And yeah, she's still... So now it's almost like everything that I was just... I kind of forgot about this. Like, a little bit. But then it's like, okay, so there's everything I was complaining about. Well, she's still in love with Enix. But you know what? Maybe now, when then you read this, like, well, I loved him, but it's a heartbroken kind of like, I loved you and you broke my heart. But then there's Lumios who made me feel better, and you almost like weirdly love him, but not in a creepy like stalker, like I love him, he's a celebrity, we're gonna be together, but it's the I appreciate something about them. I have a special, they're special to me, and not just because, oh, I love this I love his songs and like he's hot. Like it's the they gave you something, even though you've never met that person, you know? And like, we all have stories like that. Like everybody has something like that. Like, oh, this movie, this song, this person, something that they did in their career. They have no idea you exist, but something that they did meant something to you. Oh, they're my favorite because you know what, this, or I can identify with that, or they played this character, or it's a character, it's something, you know what I mean? That's why we get so involved in books. You can see things, you're like, oh, or why we love games so much. It's, you know, we're human beings, we're identifying with things. So it's actually kind of interesting. Like, no, it's not like, oh my god, I'm totally in love with him, but it's like, he gave you something almost more special than that love that you had for Enix, even though Enix is a real person that you've met at this point, you know? Huh. So, okay, alright. So now kind of like but she loves Enix and then you're with Jamie, but it's like, well, now we're spinning it in the... Look, we know again, you have some kind of relationship to Lumios. We fucking know this, so... I think at this point in the original game, I was like, maybe he's the one that wrote all of Lumios' songs. You know what I mean? I think I threw that out there as an idea, too. Like, he wrote all the songs, so when she's talking about these songs mean something, and he's like, because I wrote them. But then I got fired or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I threw out a lot of ideas. Look, my first one was the instant, like, oh, Jamie is Lumios, okay. But then they kind of do all these things, you're like, well, maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, and that's why I was throwing out all different ideas, but... Anyway, his music, well... Oh no, I read that already. His music changed me. No, I think it's just safe to say he himself changed me. See? It's things like that. You're like, yeah, okay, we all have moments where we can be like, yeah, something like that. You know? I know it sounds ridiculous to say and feel this way about a person I've never met, but Lumios is... well, he's my hero. Hasn't he changed? I'm not a fan or anything, but I heard his music is a lot different now than what it used to be. I slowly nod as I look down at my hands. Yes, Lumios has changed a lot since when I first became a fan of his. At the start, his music was full of life and happiness. But over time, he began to sound different. It's interesting now knowing the story of this line, because like when I first read it, I was like, oh, your music is different, because like, and that's where I think I went with I was like, well, maybe Jamie wrote all the songs because he changed, because now he's not there and now somebody else is, and that, you know what I mean? Like, you go from someone who has heart and passion to like, someone who's just churning out shit, you know what I mean? That's where I threw out that idea. Several months ago, he even got into a big accident and, well, he just wasn't the same when I heard him again. That's important. That now I know why, but the stories his music told, the way his songs felt, it just feels like it stopped. After that accident, it's almost like he stopped being himself. Maybe he was never really himself to begin with. These words pique my interest as I look over at Jamie. He's wearing an unreadable expression as he stares up at the vast, starry sky. The wind picks up again, and for a few moments, we lay in silence. Right when I work up the courage to say something, he sits upright. But what would I know, right? I'm definitely no pop star. I'm just a guy trying to find his way in this big world. That seems like such a fucking cover now. Like, he's like, what would I know? I'm not like a pop star or anything. Are you? But were you? I'm just saying seems shady. Me too, but Lumios really is my hero. Even if he has changed, his music is still really precious to me. You like him for the person he was that when you first found, you know what I mean? I wish one day I could tell him, thank you. Honestly, I don't know where I'd be right now if he wasn't around. Jamie lets out a grumble as he lies back down with a frown. And it's funny because then you're like, are you getting jealous of her love for a pop star? It's kind of funny. I don't even know this guy and he's making me insanely jealous. And he says it right out loud. Jealous? What? Jamie lets out a sigh as he stares at me, almost in contemplation. After a few moments, he shakes his head. And for someone to make you say stuff like that, they really must have done something amazing. I can't see anything he's done being that noteworthy, but he's really, like, hateful on him. And then it's like... But then you know what's funny is then you think back to the little thing about Jamie. He hates himself. Huh. Okay, well like, to me... And I just thought of that now, like, oh, you hate yourself. You hate Lumios. Is that because it's you? Or again, your twin, or someone that you wrote songs for, or evil robot replacement. I don't know. Robot clone replacement. I'm just saying. There's a lot of ideas, but it's just you really hate him for a deep-seated reason. It's not just like, yeah, I just don't like the guy because, like, weird, they're famous for being an asshole, and what the hell, I'm an asshole and I'm not famous. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like, okay, whatever, the guy's not so great, all the girls love it. I mean, you have some real reason why you dislike him, and it's not because you have never met the guy. Yeah, you have. Come on. We can fucking tell. Like, one way, shape, or form, right? If you say it like that, I guess it must be true in one way or another. Jamie? Suddenly, a loud explosion is heard in the sky. People begin to cheer as a large glow of color illuminates the night sky. It was like cheer, glow, large, loud, whatever happened there. I look at Jamie as he turns away with a smile. Look, the fireworks are starting. Yay! As the colors burst brightly in the night sky, I catch myself glancing over at Jamie over and over again. I love the fact that the fireworks are just like actually happening and not just like a static image. He now wears an excited grin on his face as people cheer and more explosions begin to unfold. I smile to myself, oblivious to the fact something new is beginning to blossom in my heart. The next day, I mean, seriously? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? How could I lose something that important? I frantically tear apart my bedroom as I throw clothes, pillows, and furniture everywhere. A small penguin eyes me as she eats a potato chip.
Master, what are you looking for anyway?
My wallet! I have to pay an online bill today and I can't find my wallet! My whole life is in that thing!
Oh, come on! Don't worry so much, Master. I'm sure it'll all be just fine. Just relax.
Billy, if I lose my wallet, I can't buy any more cheese or mozzarella sticks. Ever.
Ever? What?
In a flash, the small penguin starts digging around my room at lightning speed.
Okay, let's just calm down. Try to remember when you last had it.
I'm sure I had it with me after the fireworks, but the only place I went after that was...
the cafe!
I unlock the door to the empty cafe. I look around my work area and breathe out a huge sigh of relief as I spot my wallet lying on a nearby table. Phew, got it. Wow, I didn't think I'd have to come here on my day off. Just as I'm about to leave, I hear the strumming of a guitar from upstairs, followed by a chorus of meows. The cat can play guitar, guys. Jamie strums a melody on his guitar that resembles a vibrant Latin sound. Vibrant Latin sound. Look! He's actually just wearing a t-shirt! Different outfit!
Well, what about something like this, then?
Jamie looks over at Mina from his bed as the small kitten meows defiantly.
Meow.
What? You don't like that one either? Sheesh, tough crowd. The sound of his door opening jolts him up as he scampers off his bed. Whoa, hey, we're closed! How did anyone even... Spacey? I grin sheepishly as I stare at Jamie, clad in his simple pajamas. Mina meows happily as she runs over to my feet. Like her squeaky meow, it's so cute. Hi, Mina! Sorry, Jamie. I left my wallet and came to get it, but I heard a guitar playing from upstairs and... Wait a minute. You play the guitar too? Are you a secret musical prodigy or something? Jamie clears his throat as he puts the guitar aside and pouts defiantly. No. Just maybe a pop star. I don't know what you're talking about. I just know the basics. Lies! Oh, wow. You know how to write songs, too? I point a finger over to a notebook on his bed filled with sheet music and lyrics. Jamie immediately closes the notebook and stuffs it in a drawer. Hey, excuse me. You can't just barge into someone's room like this and start snooping around.
Meow.
Mina, don't defend her. I giggle as Mina rebuts another meow at him and purrs against me. After a few moments, Jamie cracks a smile and begins to clean up the small room. Well, come on in. It's not much, but make yourself at home. Thanks. Sorry for dropping in unexpectedly. I sit in a chair as Mina happily climbs into my lap. I look around and spy various musical posters and instrument cases lying around the room. Do you really know how to play all of these? Are you actually a musician, Jamie? What? No. Jamie freezes for a second. I'm just saying he's suspicious, totally. As he looks through his closet, he clears his throat and lets out a laugh. Nah, just a hobbyist. I play for fun, nothing more. I nod as I continue looking around his room. I spot a picture frame of an elderly couple and a young boy sitting on a piano. The young boy is beaming a familiar, bright, goofy smile, and I can't help but laugh. Were your grandparents musicians? Jamie looks over to the frame and smiles tenderly. He walks over to a small bathroom connected to the room and closes the door. Yep, Grandma was a music teacher and my grandpa was, well, probably the best musical artist the world never knew. The world never knew? few moments later, he comes out of the bathroom, now wearing his usual attire, including the apron. My grandfather was drafted into the military before he could start his career, and when he came back, well, it was too late. He had a family to look after. I swear to you, though, Gramps can make a song out of anything. Absolutely anything. Pots, pans, you name it. I can't help but smile as I hear the excitement in his voice. That's where he got it from. What about your parents? Were they musicians too? Jamie stops moving as he looks down. A sad smile plays on his face as he turns around. I can't really say. I never knew them. That's so sad. They passed away when I was a baby, and my grandparents raised me instead. I don't have any siblings either. Poor thing! My heart sinks as I watch him. Mina meows sadly as she hops off me and crawls over to Jamie. She's such a smart kitty. He picks her up and pets her as she purrs against him. Jamie, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to... Relax. What are you apologizing for? And that stuff was a lifetime ago anyways. I mean, yeah, your entire lifetime ago, but... Besides, my grandparents always gave me everything I ever needed. I never once felt lonely with them around. Are they, still... Nah, they're not around anymore either. This poor precious thing. And the big man in the sky needed his best angels back. I get it. This poor dramatic backstory. Man, I sure do miss them, though. Jamie. What should I do? Hug him. Without saying a word, I'm pretty sure I knew that was coming, but also that would have been my... Even if it was like, say something, say nothing, I still would have been like, hug him. Like in the Enix round. What do I do? Kiss him! Oh, that's actually an option. Shit. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Without saying a word, I merely stand up and wrap my arms around Jamie in a tight hug. I can feel him stiffen under me for a few seconds before he steps back. In reality, I probably would never actually just hug someone like that. Depending on the situation. But in this case, don't know you well enough to hug you, but man, I want to. What? Spacey? What's with you all of a sudden? He loves it. Look at him, he's blushing. You're not alone, okay? You have me and Mr. Saul and even Mina. I just wanted to say that. Jamie stares at me, stunned, for a few brief moments, before quickly turning his head around to hide his expression. He tightly hugs me back, and we stay like that for a few moments before he mumbles into my shoulder. Thank you. It's still a sensitive topic for me, so I really appreciate it. Anytime, Jamie. I'm here for you. Eventually, we separate as Jamie clears his throat and smiles. Hey, Spacey, you got any plans today? Well, not really. Cool. Want to grab lunch together or something? Since you invaded my man cave and all. I can't help but giggle as I nod. Sure, Jamie. Let's go. My treat today. I'll take you somewhere super yummy. Oh, now I'm really excited. Let's go already. Let's take Mrs. Fluffykins for a walk. Episode 6, Tragedy in C#. I think that's sharp, right? I'm on music stuff. A few hours later, Jamie and I laugh together as we walk down the streets of town. After grabbing burgers for lunch, we spend the day exploring different shops and telling each other all sorts of stories. I laugh harder as Jamie continues his crazy story regarding a particular concert master he once saw on TV. He makes an exaggerated face, impersonating the man, and I can only bring my hands to my cheeks. I'm telling you, the way he dressed, the way he talked to the band, even the way he conducted, he was totally a vampire. Oh man, now that I think about it, he even asked to not have the spotlight directly on him the whole concert. Holy crap! Spacey, let's buy some garlic on the way home, okay? I'm not good with scary stuff. Jamie, please stop! My cheeks are sore from laughing. I emphasize my point by massaging my poor, sore cheeks as Jamie stops briefly only to grin mischievously at me. Now that you mention it, and they do look kind of puffy. You look like that spiky fish. What's it called? Poofy? Puffy something? Jamie! Do not compare me to a puffer fish, you jerk! Come on. Puffer fish are cute. Of course not as cute as cats, though. Suddenly, Jamie stops and points at a nearby ice cream shop. His eyes sparkle at me like a kid on Christmas morning. Man, that looks so good. Spacey, you still full or can you fit some dessert? Always room for ice cream. What should I say? Only if it's ice cream. I'm stuffed. I always have room for dessert, bitch. Oh, please. I always have room for dessert. You're a real one, Spacey. A woman after my own heart. I love you, Jamie. As we enter the ice cream shop, an overwhelming feeling of happiness wells up within me. Not as much as Florian, but I still love you to death. You're still fucking adorable. I know that a pink hue is permanently settled on my cheeks, but I'm having too much fun to care. Your beautiful park. After picking up some ice cream cones, we stopped by a nearby park to eat them. Man, this is so good. Nothing really beats ice cream. Can't help but giggle as I shake my head at him. Jeez, that's exactly what you said about the burgers. You know, you make it sound like you've never had this type of stuff before. It's really hard when you're a secret pop star that nobody knows about. I'm just saying. Jamie flinches for a second. I swear I see a sad glint in his expression, but it's gone almost immediately as he shoots me a sheepish grin. Do I? Nah, I was just on a strict diet before. Yeah. You know, it's hard being a pop star. I'm just saying. It makes me appreciate the freedom of eating whatever I want now. I sense a bit of hesitation in his voice, but I decide to accept his answer and concede with a nod. A comfortable silence settles over us as we continue eating our ice creams. We watch as the sun begins to set and cast an evening glow over the town. It's really pretty here with the dark. It's because everything's purpley colored. Pinky purple and everything. My eyes follow all sorts of people as they pass us by. A warm smile plays on my face. Do you like people watching, Spacey? Yeah, it's fun. Seeing all sorts of people from different walks of life just pass each other by. I can't help but wonder what type of life they're all living. When I was younger, I pretended each person was a song, and I'd try to figure out what melody they'd play based on how they walked or dressed. Now that I say it out loud, though, it sounds a little weird, right? Not weird at all. If anything, that sounds just like you. Oh? What sounds just like me? Well, even with difficult customers back at the cafe, you always seem to see people in such a positive light. You trust others really easily, too, and you almost always go out of your way to help people. Honestly, I really admire that about you. I can feel heat rise to my face as I stare at Jamie's earnest smile. I quickly scoop a giant spoonful of ice cream into my mouth and look away. But you're like that too. Jamie smiles sadly as he grabs a napkin and he reaches over to wipe cream off the corner of my lip. Well, hello. Trust me, I'm the furthest thing from that. I stare at him as he wipes the ice cream off my lip. I furrow my brows when I swear I see an inexplicable sadness glaze over his eyes once again. Jamie... As if upon hearing his name, he snaps out of his trance and looks back up at me with a smile. He ruffles my hair as he stands up and stretches. Man, that was good stuff. I feel like I could run a whole marathon or something. Come on, Spacey, let's start heading back before it gets any darker. I stare at Jamie's back for a few seconds as he walks on ahead. For some reason, it feels as if he's hiding something, but I dismiss the thought quickly as I run to catch up with him. A smooth, jazzy melody wafts through the evening air as Jamie and I chat casually. It's a nice, jazzy melody. We look forward to see a middle-aged man playing a saxophone on the street. He has a small case open in front of him with a few coins and bills thrown in. Most townspeople merely spare him a glance as they walk by, but a few stop to listen. Oh, it's a street performer! How cool! We don't get those too often around here. I look up at Jamie to see him with a pensive look on his face, as if he were quietly judging something. And that guy's good, but the performance is definitely missing something. Hey, Spacey, stay here, okay? I'll be right back. What are you... Hey, Jamie, where are you going? I open my mouth to protest more, but Jamie's already sprinting off around the corner. I look back to the street performer, and I smile as I walk into the small group of onlookers. I think his playing is wonderful. I wish I had the courage to do something like that. Look, it's on the umbrella, but then when she pops up, it's kind of on her head, so it works. I rock a bit in my spot as I watch him play his song. A few others join me, but most people pass us by. After he finishes, I open my wallet to collect all my single bills and gently place them in his open case. The man shoots me a grateful smile, and I acknowledge him with a nod. He takes a deep breath and begins to play another song. Just as he's getting started, I spot a breathless Jamie appear from behind with a guitar and a chord. Jamie grins at the performer. Mind if I join in? The performer smiles and scoots over. The small crowd cheers as Jamie plugs in the guitar into the speaker. Jamie looks up at me and he winks before he looks over to the performer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The townspeople I like how, the fucking magic concert lights just appear. This is fucking hilarious. You're like, wow, Jamie's magical. The townspeople begin to cheer as Jamie and the performer begin playing. The two instruments melt into a dazzling harmony that has everyone smiling ear to ear. More and more people stop to listen and drop various bills and coins into the open case. Whoa, they're so good! This is awesome! Yo, who's that guy on the guitar? He's totally wicked.
Totally wicked!
I look around in surprise to see that the once small crowd has now turned into quite a large one. As the song picks up, people begin cheering louder. A huge smile plays on my face as I watch Jamie move his head to the beat. He looks like he's having the time of his life up there. I can't help but want to cheer him on. Woo! Go, Jamie, go! In our sexy voice. As the song comes to a close, a giant wave of cheering and applause breaks out. Lots of people begin to drop bills into the case, and some are even bold enough to approach and ask for pictures with the performers. However, I notice Jamie declines all requests for photos. Yeah! Because then people would be like, wait! And they do and they'd be like, Jamie is Lumiose. Come on. Soon after, Jamie and the performer shake hands, and I make my way up to them. Thank you, man. You're crazy good with that guitar, brother. You're pretty awesome yourself with that sax. And the way you handled that last chord was beast, dude. It just sounds ridiculous. As they chat, a man in a well-dressed suit approaches them. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm a talent agent working for Gretzky Records. That performance was quite something. It's the Great Gretzky Studios that made this game, by the way, so it's pretty funny that they put them. I like how they do the little tie-ins like that. It's kind of cute. And every once in a while, Estrella pops up another thing, and things pop up in different routes, and it's just cute. I like it. He hands them 2 business cards and explains more about the popular music label he works for. My mouth drops open as he shakes the performer's hand and then motions to Jamie. I gotta say, you really got quite a talent there, kid. Ever think about... Save it, buddy. I'm not interested. Not in the least. Without even so much as another word, Jamie stalks off with a deep scowl on his face. The agent shrugs and turns back to continue talking to the other performer. I chase after Jamie and reach out to grab his arm. Jamie, what are you doing? That guy was from a music label. You could have been scouted. Jamie turns to look at me and I gulp. A jaded expression I've never seen before is clear on his face. I mean, if this isn't getting fucking obvious at this point, right? Like I said, I'm not interested. Those labels are all the same. They just use people like tools. I don't give a damn about music. Just money. I'm just saying. I play my music my way or no way. I'm not anyone's puppet on a string. Jamie... Without another word, Jamie continues treading towards the cafe, and I can't do much but trail after him. As Jamie bursts into the cafe, I rush in after him. Jamie, wait! Please, Suddenly, I crash face first into his back as he stops abruptly. I rub my nose and I shoot him a scowl of my own. Ow! Hey! Why'd you just stop in the middle of the... Jamie's eyes are wide open and his complexion is pale as I follow his line of sight forward. I got so scared when this happened. I was like, oh no! Mr. Saul, don't be dead on the floor! My heart sinks in my chest as I follow his gaze and spot a hunched over Mr. Saul on the floor. I swear to God, when he stopped and we looked, I thought he was going to be dead. The owner slowly turns around to meet us. His eyes are red as tears roll down his face and his complexion is pale. Hello, you two. This hurts my soul. Jamie and I rush over him as we help him up. Mr. Saul, are you okay? What happened? Jamie grabs a chair and we sit him down slowly. Oh, I'm fine, but my wife isn't. Botek can wear the hat. I swallow hard as more tears brim in the old man's eyes. Jamie kneels down to meet his gaze. Mr. Saul, what's going on? Tell us, please. We're here to help in any way we can. Mr. Saul places a trembling hand on Jamie's shoulder, and he shakes his head sadly. I truly wish it was that simple, my boy. The lump in my throat feels heavy as I take in Mr. Saul's weak and weary demeanor. He begins to explain the situation to us to the best of his abilities. Wow, I can't read. My wife, she collapsed yesterday after the fireworks. The doctor said they found a tumor in her heart. They said she needs major surgery, and quickly. I can't afford it with just the savings we have, so I'm afraid that I might have to close the cafe down soon. Like, insurance should cover that shit. That sounds life-threatening, is all I'm saying. But insurance companies fucking suck. Tears spring into my eyes as I cover my mouth with my hands. I can see Jamie's face growing pale as Mr. Saul continues speaking. It's not a choice I'm willing to make, but I fear it might be my only choice. I'm far too old for any companies to be willing to loan us the money we need. The cafe means the world to both of us. And even if we do close, I might not have enough for her surgery. But at least it'll get me closer to the amount. Mr. Saul looks up at Jamie. He shakes his head as more tears threaten to fall. But I can't lose her, son. I can't. She's the light of my life. I can't lose her. Not yet. This is so sad. Mr. Saul. I stifle a soft sob as I feel my own heart beginning to break. Jamie places his guitar on the floor and wraps Mr. Saul into his strong embrace as the old man quietly cries. After a few moments, I watch Jamie wipe his eyes and kneel down in front of Mr. Saul. Mr. Saul, I'll help you. I'll do whatever it takes to get the money she needs. It's the least I can do to pay you back for everything you've done for me. I rush over and throw my hands around Mr. Saul as I nod violently. Hot tears are spilling from my eyes. As will I. I'll give you as much as I possibly can. I mean it. Mr. Saul shakes his head and he manages a sad smile as he grabs each of our hands. Thank you, both of you. But I can't bear to burden either of you like that. It's simply too much money. You're both so young and have your whole lives ahead of you. I cannot accept putting that responsibility on your shoulders. Jamie's voice cracks as he shakes his head and stands up. Then let us at least run the shop until you come back. Go and be with your wife. I don't care what I need to do to keep this shop open. I'll do it. But please, don't make the same mistake I did. When I lost my grandfather, I wasn't there. I was working overseas. On tour as Lumios? What? I'm just saying. I wasn't there next to him when he needed me the most. And it's easily the biggest regret in my entire life. Mr. Saul looks up at Jamie with widened eyes, and I immediately stand beside him in support. He's right, Mr. Saul. There's nothing in this world that's more important right now than your wife. Go to her. She needs you now more than ever. Don't worry about the cafe. We'll run it while you're away. Let us help. If you won't take our money, then we'll come up with a plan to help raise the money. We definitely will. From the corner of my eye, I can feel Jamie's look of appreciation. I keep my eyes focused on Mr. Saul, hoping our words will get through to him. After a few moments, he stands up and cracks a small but genuine smile. He grabs us both and pulls us into a tight hug. Thank you so much, both of you. You two are like grandchildren to me, and I couldn't be more proud of you both. That's why I was like, I hope he's not an evil man. He's not, thank God. Like, spoiler alert, he's not. He's a good man, thank God. Jamie shakes his head. I watch him smile kindly in response to those words. No, Mr. Saul. We are family. Our blood name may not be the same, but our hearts couldn't be more connected. He's so cute. I wipe my tears and I can't help but smile at the poignant turn of events. Mr. Saul grabs his coat, motions towards the door, and looks back at us one more time. Thank you. From the bottom of this old man's heart. Well then, I'll entrust my precious cafe to you both for the time being. Take good care of her for me, alright? We won't let you down. Leave it to us. Jamie and I exchange a smile. Mr. Saul nods. We watch as he opens the door and leaves. As soon as he's gone, Jamie collapses down on a chair and tears his hands through his hair. What the hell am I going to do? I walk over to Jamie and I pull on his sleeve, motioning for him to look up at me. Hey, you're not alone. We're in this together, right? Spacey, you don't understand. Mr. Saul and his wife are the closest thing I have left in the world to a family anymore. They took me in when I had nothing and helped me without asking for a single thing in return. I have to help them. I have to do something, even if it means... As Jamie's voice trails off, a pained look appears in his eyes. He shakes his head and I can infer what he's getting at. I don't think you can. Like, even if I have to go back to my old life as opposed to... Like, you're like, I can figure what he's getting at. No, I don't think you'd really do. But, hey, listen to me. We're not doing anything rash. It won't help the situation if one of us gets into more trouble. We'll think of something. I know we will. She's like, even if I take out a loan from a loan shark. Yeah, no, that's not where he's going, sweetie. You're not alone, Jamie. Not anymore. This is where having a man harem would be nice, because then we'd have Marcello in our pocket. We'd be like, you can help us, right? And he'd be like, totally, whatever. Just saying. Man harems would help save everybody. I'm just like, God. Jamie looks up at me as I try my best to sound confident, but even I notice my voice is shaking. He slowly stands up and walks closer to me, his eyes boring into my own. I can feel a tear fall from my eye and watch as he raises his hand to gently wipe it away. You're right. We will. Thank you. I can feel my heart pound in my chest as he looks into my eyes, magical boy glowing. His fingers trail down from my cheek as his thumb softly runs over my lips. Not alone, huh? Not anymore. I said it before, didn't I? I mean it. My voice comes out in almost a whisper, but he smiles to himself. Some hero I turned out to be. See? It's shit like this, and he says it, and you're like, you say that, because, again, it's either you are Lumios, or you kind of are taking credit for all of his, because you wrote all of his songs, but, hi. Alright. You look exactly like he does on the poster, come the fuck on. But then there's still the weird, but Lumios is still on TV, and that's where the evil robot clone comes in. What? I couldn't hear you. Instead of answering me, his eyes widen as he begins to lean into me. My heart starts beating so loudly I can hear it in my ears. As he leans closer and closer, I begin to close my eyes. I feel his hands come to rest on my waist as I place my hands gently on his chest. I can feel his heart going as fast as mine through the fabric of his shirt. Just as our lips are a mere breath apart, a small meow is heard. We got cock-blocked by a cat. It's fucking hilarious. Our eyes snap open as we look at each other and then back towards the piano. She's like trying to hint. Mina sits on top of the keyboard, eyeing us curiously as she swishes her tail from side to side. Meow. Almost as if snapped back into reality, Jamie jumps off me and I clear my throat as we avert each other's gaze. I'm gonna make some coffee. You want some? Yeah, this sounds great. I slowly peer back as I watch him head through the kitchen doors. I let out a huge sigh of relief. It's actually kind of cute that they get that awkward, like, they're leaning in about to kiss. And he's like, oh yeah, no. And it's like, you were going to kiss me and I was going to kiss you back. Like, we're both, I think we just giggle and be like, so, like, we'll kiss later. But they're both embarrassed, like, oh my god, I was going to kiss you and you weren't going to kiss me. Like, she pushed him away or something. Like, or we misread the situation. We didn't misread the situation. We were both going in for the kiss. And we got cat blocked. Okay, it's okay. Like, like, so funny. Meow. Fucking cat. I love her. I stare back at Mina as I approach her. My heart's still pounding. I pat her head as she purrs against my fingers. I can't tell if I'm grateful for or disappointed in you, Missy. Disappointed in. Boop. I lay in bed as my thoughts drift to Jamie. I can feel my face flush as I grab a pillow and smack myself with it in an attempt to clear the image of his perfectly sculpted lips out of my mind, and I'm staring at the picture of Lumios and being like, they kind of look the same. You idiot! Now's not the time to be thinking that sort of stuff! You got a bigger problem on your hands!
Is Master having dirty thoughts about Mr. Jamie again?
Not with a fucking penguin constantly creeping on me, you perv. I jolt upward as I see Philia munching leisurely on a bag of snacks while zooming into my face. I wasn't thinking about anyone! Enough of the accusations, okay? And you! Where have you been all this time? I looked everywhere for you since I got home. Philia's eyes sparkle as she pulls out a recipe book from behind her.
That's because Philia was studying! Did you know there's different ways to prepare mozzarella sticks? Look at this picture! They're blocks! Blocks!
I had ones that were like triangles. Like triangle blocks. I shoot Philia a look as she hands me a cookbook. I relent and pat the small penguin's head as she eagerly continues to show me different photos of fried cheese recipes. What are you doing, naughty bird? Don't you dig around on my plant. I see you. You really do like cheese, huh, Philia?
Of course!
That wasn't her voice.
Cheese and master singing are Philia's favorite things in the whole wide world. Philia doesn't have any money because she's a penguin, but if she did, she'd definitely spend it on those two things.
I raise my head. I look over at Philia slowly with widened eyes. Wait, Philia, say that again.
What? About how much I love cheese?
No, the next part.
Oh, well, just that if Philia had any money, she'd happily spend it on cheese and hear Master sing again.
My jaw drops slightly as the wheels in my head begin to turn. I jump off my bed and begin to pace around my room. Two things people universally love and are willing to spend money on. Food and music. Yeah, kinda. And otome games, but that's more niche, but okay. I'd throw all my money at them.
Master? Did Philia see something wrong?
I look over at Philia and I can't help but beam a giant smile as I grab the small penguin and bring her into a tight hug. Philia, you're a genius!
I am? I mean, of course I am! Why am I a genius again?
Don't worry about it, but thank you, Philia. I place the small, confused penguin down as I rummage through my bag for my phone. Philia gazes up at me and she smiles, flapping her flippers.
Well, Philia doesn't really know what she did, but if Master is happy, Philia's happy too.
I shoot Philia a warm smile before I dial a number. The phone rings as I take a deep breath. Come on, pick up! Hello, Jamie? Oh, no, whoops. I read Jamie and wow. Hello, Spacey? Is everything okay? Jamie, I have an idea! A festival of light. I think this is our sexy chapter. I can't quite remember in his route, but it's usually chapter 7. But anyway, we're going to get that in the next part. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.